Okay, we got, okay, I hope you covered the task part one. So it's a continuation for that. Okay, we have completed this simple thing. Okay, task one is completed. So task one is a simple function and we are using a set timeout and asynchronous thing so that we have just given a 5000 milliseconds delay. So it will execute after 5000 milliseconds. Okay, now suppose we have only one now, we are going to take two tasks. Okay, then how it will work? So same thing, I'm not going to change, add any new extra logic. So I want to make it very simple. So if you see, this is the task 2. Task 2 here. First, I'm just invoking the task 1 and I'm just invoking the task 2. So, and I just need to update the titles like task 1 and task 2. This is task 2, task 1, task 1, task 2. So then I hope you know the answer, right? What will be the output? So start end, we have attached to two timers at a time. So once it is done, it will come to the callback queue and it will come to the call stack and it will execute. So if you just watch the diagram, so what it will do, so first it will print the start and it will attach the two timers at a time because we are executing one by one. So that first it will attach the first task one callback and this is for task two callback. Okay, and it will print end. After that it will remove execution context and global execution context. Okay, I hope you remember that, you know that, that's why I'm just explaining quickly. So since these two callbacks, first it will expire, right? Naturally, which one is attached first, and immediately because we have given a same time delay, that's why it will also come in the same time. And by the time the call stack is empty and event loop will push, first it will push this first callback that is related to task one. It will execute that one and it will print task one is completed, and then immediately it will bring this task 2 into the call stack and it will print the task 2 is completed, so that we got the result as task 1 is completed and task 2 is completed. Now it's very beautiful. Then why we are putting the hell, callback hell? We are already using callbacks, right? Wait. Okay, now we are going to enter into the complex things, because if you see, the task 1 and task 2 are not related to each other. No problem. Suppose if we give 3000 milliseconds to this and if we give 10,000 milliseconds to this, we don't have any problem, right? We don't have any problem. 3000 and 10,000. So what will happen? So task 1, it will take only 3000 milliseconds. So it will come to that process in the event loop, and task 2, that callback will come a little bit late after 10,000 milliseconds. It has executed, no problem. Even if we give 10,000 milliseconds to the first task and only 5000 milliseconds to the second task, now what will be the difference? Okay, this time, this callback, this timer will expire soon, so that the callback related to the task 2 will come first into this queue, right? Into this queue, and it will execute first, so that output will be task 2 has completed. After some time, it will come, the second timer also will come to the, it will push the callback into the callback queue and it will execute. So naturally, what will happen? So now start end. Now this, since we have a less delay for task 2, it is executed quickly and task 1 will execute later. That is the only difference. So now the important thing is, so far we don't have a relation between the task 1 task 2, that's why no problem for us. But here in real time programming, suppose if you just go to, just take e-commerce website. So first, if you want to see your order details or if you want to see your cart details, so what you need to do, first you need to log in. Okay, once you successfully log in, then only you are able to see your cart details, right? Okay, or first you need to add items to the cart, and first it should place the order. Okay, place the order, then only we can go for proceed to payment, right? One after that, order summary. So if you see, before going to proceed to payment, this placing the order should complete. Then only we can go with the proceed to the payment. Okay, once you complete the payment, then only you will see the order summary, because those tasks are interrelated. So if you want to take another simple example, so if you see, suppose the school, you're going to school, so they will provide some certificate, right? Okay, they will provide some certificate. So what you need to do, you need to submit this certificate which is provided by the school to a like intermediate or higher education. Okay, intermediate. So after completing that intermediate, they will give some other certificate. That means this certificate need to join the intermediate. Okay, that is, otherwise I'm saying like a school certificate is required. And suppose if you want to join the engineering, right, you need another certificate which is provided by the intermediate. Okay, certificate, that's certificate. So that what it means, these tasks are dependent on each other. So without completing a school, you can't start intermediate education. Like naturally, I'm saying if you can do, that's the great thing. Okay, but without providing intermediate certificate or MSET or any examination certificate, so you can't join in the engineering, right? So that means, of course, for studying the school, completing the school, it will take 10 years, right? Around 10 years minimum. For intermediate, it will take 2 years. That means the delay, asynchronous thing. Okay. After that only you will join the engineering, it will take 4 years. So there is a time delay. This is 10 years, this is 2 years, this is 4 years. So if you want to get the certificate from the school, you should wait for 10 years. If you want to get a certificate from intermediate, you should wait for 2 years. And if you want to get a certificate from engineering, you should wait for 4 years. So this is a time delay. So here the task one is just 10,000 milliseconds, the task 2 5,000 milliseconds, like that. Even suppose if you just see, of course these examples are just to understand the things, but in real time we should follow these things. Okay, the cart, okay, e-commerce site, we should place the order and we should do a proceed the payment on the order summary. These kind of things are related to each other. So once you submit the order, and it will return order ID, and with the help of that order ID, okay, you will go to proceed to payment. Okay, once you got completed the payment process, it will provide, thus I think I forgot what it will return. Okay, I think order ID and the payment status. Okay, payment status. Once it is payment details success status or something, so based on that we can proceed to the order summary. So that means here in this example, what we can do, the right now the task 1 and task 2 are independent. But now if you want to execute the task 2, first we should complete the task 1. Okay, unless until you complete the task 1, we should not execute task 2. That means if you understand clearly, the task 1, whenever you invoke this task 1, it is a set timeout, right? It will take 10,000 milliseconds to execute this line that related to the task 1. So after completing that means here only you need to call the task 2. Got it? Got it? Just recollect one thing. What I'm saying? Once you complete the task 1, that means what is the task for the task 1 function? It some doing something, anything, like just send a request to the server and get some details or something. Okay, once you got the details from the server, that means the task 1 is completed. Then only we need to execute task 2. then only we need to start the task 2, right? Fantastic. So what is there in the task 2? What is there in the task 2? This one is here. So here, if you want to make it dependent, so now what we are going to write, it's going to be somewhat complex, but please do practice up to this point. Once you got the clarity, then only start the next thing. Okay, next thing. So then only you will understand. Okay, we need to send a request to the server for the task 2 also. So here, task 1, without depending on task 1, we are executing the task 2, but now the task 2 should execute, task 2 should execute here after completing this one. Okay, got it? Wait, how to pass this thing to the task 1 or task 2? Because we don't know, right, when this task 1 is going to complete. So that for that, we right now we should not call like this. So what we need to do, we need to pass this task 2 as a callback function. Please try to understand. If you do practice, then only you will understand. Otherwise it's very difficult, I'm saying. Okay, just remember, whatever it is in this, forgot, some task is there, that is also asynchronous thing, that is also asynchronous thing. So here, task 1, what you are giving to the task 1, so please do your task. Once you complete your task, okay, I'm providing another task also, or you can say that next task. Simple. So what will happen? The next, that is this task 2 will be copied into this next task as a reference. And then once you complete your task, first task is completed, then you can call this next task. Because this is the callback function. This is the callback. If you are able to pass a function as an argument to another function, so in this situation, the task 2 is callback function. Task 2 is a callback function. And what is this task 1? Remember? Do you know? Just ping me in the comment. What is this task 1? Higher order function, right? Higher order function. What is a higher order function? If a function accepts a function as an argument, or if it returns a function from that function, that is called the higher order function. Okay, right now I don't want to confuse you. So here simply the task 2 is the callback function and task 1 is the higher order function. Now if you see, it will execute beautifully. So what we are doing, the task 1, we are invoking the task 1 and we are giving task 2 as a callback function. So what we are saying, so plus first do your task, complete your task. Once the task 1 is completed, once the task 1 is completed, when it is going to complete, when this callback function is going to execute, then only we can say that task 1 is completed. Okay, that is the callback 1. Once it is completed, then it will invoke this next task. What is there in the next task? Task 2. So at the time it will invoke this function and okay, it will attach this timer, after completing this one. So it will be very confusing for you, I know. Please do practice and just go through the diagram, just practice with the help of the diagram, then definitely you will fall in love with the JavaScript, I'm saying. Yes, if you understand this, you will love JavaScript. If you don't understand, you will hate JavaScript, or maybe you will hate me also. Why Raghu explaining this stupid things to me like that? So if you see here, the first callback is taking 10,000 milliseconds. Okay, after completing this 10,000 milliseconds, it will execute this one. Okay, after completing task 1, it will invoke, it will attach another timer, right? So now I will explain with the help of diagram. Please watch it properly, understand properly, and if please try to do practice also. So now this is interesting for me also. So first, what is there? What is there here? Console.log start. Okay, I will just remove these things also. If you're feeling confusion, I'm just removing this comment also. Make it clear. Simple thing. So we have task 1, task 2. Previously, we don't have any relationship between task 1 and task 2. Right now, yes, we want to make these two asynchronous calls in a sequential manner. Beauty, right? Beauty, right? Yeah, JavaScript is beautiful. So now let's see how to execute this one. Okay. So first it will do console.log start. Console.log start. So naturally, okay, first it will create a global execution context. You see, it will create a global execution context. And now it will execute that line so that you will see the output as a start. Start. And after that, what we are executing, the second one. So this one is a function definition. It will already register in the first phase of JavaScript. Okay. So let me, okay. So now we are going to invoke task one. So task one is going to invoke. So at the time, so it's a function. So naturally it will create an execution context. So that is the task one. Okay. Task one is there here. And in the task one, what is there? The logic, just expand, just only observe the task one, what is there in the task one. The task one, we are just attaching a set timeout, nothing. Okay, we are getting the reference to this, but we are not doing anything right away. So this next task is inside the set timeout, right? So observe carefully. So we are executing this single statement, that is set timeout. Set timeout, we are providing one callback function, and we are providing 10,000 milliseconds delay. So here what it will do, it will attach a timer. And what is the callback function? Okay, the callback function for task one. Okay, here CB1. So I'm just mentioning simply CB1. We have one callback function. Okay, CB1, that is this one, the entire CB1, and 10,000 milliseconds delay. Okay, no problem. I don't have any problem putting 10,000 milliseconds delay. Fine. So now that's it. It will come out of the function one, like task one, and okay, it will, once it come out of that, what it will do, it will remove this execution context. Observe carefully, this is very important to remove execution context. Okay, and now, okay, once it come out of that task one, we came outside and it will print console.log n. Console.log n. Observe carefully. So far, we just in the browser we have only one timer, that is for callback one. So this callback function for the task 2 is not invoked so far, because if you want to invoke this callback function should execute by the time, yeah, we should wait for that. So fine, console.log end is also completed. So then what will happen, then naturally it will remove this global execution context also. Super fantastic. So we need to wait 10,000 milliseconds, 9,999. So okay, after 10 seconds it has reaches to 0. Once it is reaches to 0, so then what we are doing, we are, of course, the web API will push this callback function one, like task one's callback function. Okay, here. So it will also gone, nothing will be there in the web API. So now the call stack is empty and event loop is just eagerly waiting to do the task. Okay, so call stack is empty, that's why even we got one callback function here. So it will push into the call stack. Now things are most beautiful. Okay, callback, then what it will do, it will create another execution context for this, right? Callback is also a function, right? Whenever you invoke the function, it will create execution context. Do you remember? Yes, I hope you remember. So execute. What is there in that callback function? Now just to focus on what is there in the callback function. This is there in the callback function. Okay, fine. What is the first statement? Console.log task one is completed. Okay, whatever. So it will print task one is completed. Task one is completed. Fantastic. Now observe carefully. What is there in the next line? Next task. What is the next task? Okay, we already provided the reference for the task 2 through this callback. Of course, this is also a callback. Okay. So now it is going to execute this function reference. What is this function reference? This one, task 2. Now it will create execution context for task 2. Just remember, whenever you invoke the task 2, it will create execution context. Okay, now what is there in the task 2? Observe carefully, these are beautiful things. What is there in the task 2? So it's just one timer with 5000 milliseconds delay. No problem, no problem. So fine, it's the timer and it should have one callback function. Okay, that is callback function 2. So like a task, second task callback function. Okay, callback for, I'm just referring callback function 2, and it has 5000 milliseconds delay and it should check up to 0. So far we didn't reach 0, it's there only. So once you complete this task, you will come out of that task 2. That means once you come out of this, that is the end of this set timeout also. So once you come out of this task 2, what will happen? Because once you attach the timer in the web API, that this execution context for the task 2 is completed. So here, this is the execution context for task 2. Task 2. So then it will remove this execution context. Okay, after that, okay, this callback function 1 is also completed, right? What is there in the callback function 1? Console.log task 1 is completed, and it has invoked this function also. It is also attached the timer in the web API. That is also done. So the job is done, so that it will also remove from the global execution context. Super. Okay, fantastic. Now, okay, call stack is empty and it is just web API keep on checking whether the count will become 0 or not. Okay, after 5 milliseconds, sorry, 5 seconds, so it reaches 0. It reaches 0. Okay, it reaches 0. Other time, what it will do? We know what it will do. It will push this callback function to the callback queue. Since the call stack is empty, immediately this event loop will push this callback 2 into this. What is there in the callback 2? What is there in the callback 2? Go and check. This is there. Simply one line of thing this, that is console.log task 2 incompleted. So, okay, now this is executed 10 seconds back. After 5 seconds again, we will get task 2 is completed. Okay, understand? So now let's see, execute this one. Check, we can check in the browser. So first, task 1 is completed will come after 10,000 milliseconds. After printing the task 1 is completed, then after 5,000 milliseconds we will see the task 2. So if you see, first we need to wait for 10,000 milliseconds. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Done. Task 1 is completed. Now it invoked the task 2. It attaches the things in the, okay, now done. So this is happening. Okay, understood? Simple. Maybe if you understand, you feel that it's very simple. What the hell is, why people are feeling complex, right? Okay, now tell me if you understand. Immediately just tell me in the comment section, understood or not, because this is the most important topic, most complex topic. If you understand, I feel very happy. Okay, at least for that, just ping me in the comment section. Let's see how many of you understand clearly. So please do practice in the same way. Draw the diagram. Just remember all the concepts. What is the call stack? What is the web API? What is the microtask queue? What is the callback queue? What is the importance of event loop? And how the timers are working? And even you can debug the code and see. Okay. So if you see, this is the callback things. But if you see, okay, still you feel that, okay, this is okay, not like hell. But okay, imagine, so if you have only two tasks, okay, if you have only two asynchronous tasks, that is task 1, and task 2 should execute after task 1 is completed. Then only we should execute task 2. For that, it has some complexity. Just observe carefully. The task 1, here is a callback function. We are calling like this. Suppose if you have a task 3, okay, if you have a task 3, what will happen? If you have task 4, what will happen? Just keep on doing. Okay, keep on doing. Then just see the fun. Okay, task 3. Let's see. Okay, even it's very difficult for me. Okay, task 3. Let's write task 3. Okay, copy this one. Okay, this is a definition. What should happen in the call task 3? Okay, so if you see, the task 1 is taking the next task, right? Of course, task 2 also should take the next task, right? Next task. Okay, task 2 also should take the next task. Once it is completed, you should that task 2 should invoke the next task, whatever the task 3 or any other random task, whatever it is. Okay, right now we have only 3 levels: task 1 and task 2, task 3. Okay, if you invoke the task 2 at any point of time, okay, you should take care of the next task also. So now go back and how to change the code. So here for the task 1, you are passing task 2 as a callback function. Now you should pass task 3 as a callback function to task 2, right? Where is the task 2? Where is task 2 is invoking? Okay, this is the task 1 is invoking, and this is the task 2 invoking. So what we need to do? We need to pass the task 3 as a callback function to this next task. This one, this here. Okay, here, okay, it's very difficult to write here. That's why what I'm doing, I'm simply passing this thing. Okay, this is task 3. Yeah. Directly we can copy this syntax, or what we can do, okay, we'll pass this task 3 as a argument. Where is that callback function? But first we should pass like this or that. Okay, that's why okay, it's better to give a callback directly. That's why it's very difficult. That's why it's very difficult. What's the callback function? Okay, this is only right. Task 3. We should pass the task 3. Okay, no problem. Let me add a reference directly here. Okay, task 3. So then what will happen? This is the invocation of task 2, and it will take the task 3 as a parameter, and it will should invoke here. So task 1 and task 2 and task 3. Suppose if you see task 1, suppose now we'll say I'm giving 5000 milliseconds to each one. So now to execute first task, it will take 5000 milliseconds. After that, it will start task 2. Again, it will take 5000 milliseconds. After that, only it will take the task 3. Again, it will take 5000 milliseconds. Okay, the code is complex. Actually, I've taken outside. That's why you feel like it's simple. No, because we should restructure. Then only I don't know whether it will give any error. Let me check first whether I've given things right or not. Task 1 is completed. So task 2 has started. After 5000 milliseconds, it will print the task 2 is completed. After 5000 milliseconds, it should print the task 3 is completed. Wow, fantastic. Oh my God, I did right. Okay, now do things. Okay, please do. Okay, please do task 4 and task 5. Task 4 and task 5. And if you have a patience, okay, but for me, I don't have a patience. Like it's very difficult for me to make this hell. Okay, task 6. So what's happening? Because it's very difficult to write. Of course, I have taken separate function. That's why you can't see the horizontal growth of this code. But if you just pass callback functions properly into without defining outside, it will be very complex. But it's a callback hell, right? So first task 1 is taking the task 2 and it is calling, whenever it is calling, it is going to be task 3, and again whenever you are calling task 3, again you can say the next task here. Okay, next task. Okay, so here what we need to do, task 2, here we should give the task 4 as a callback function. Sorry, I think if I give a wrong thing, task 1, yeah, properly. Okay, because a lot of confusion is there, definitely a lot of confusion will be there, that's why it's a callback hell. Okay, if you just define callback task 4, definitely it will execute again after 5000 milliseconds. This is the task 4 if we do properly. So task 4, this is also 5000 milliseconds. Let's cross check everything, it's very difficult to cross check also. Task 4, yeah, task 2, we are passing task 4, and once it is completed, okay, fine, some alarm is coming. Task 2 is completed, let me wait for task 3. I'm not sure whether it will bring task 4 because it's very confusing for me. Come on baby, come on, 5000 milliseconds. Maybe I did something wrong. Yeah, I think I did something wrong. Naturally, you don't need to blame me. You don't need to worry because this is a callback hell, it's very difficult to write. That's why we should not depend on this. So what is the solution? So if you see, okay, if you take four level of chain, it's very difficult to write the code. Okay, if you write horizontally, like it's more difficult. Okay, so before going to enter into the topic called promises, okay, I will suggest one thing because already Akshay Saini explained the same topic called callback hell. Please watch it. Okay, back hell by Akshay Saini. Okay, this one. So if you watch this,
I led the team that built Facebook Messenger.
you will understand clearly. Okay, and of course he explained promises and everything. Of course, I learned from him many things, and I'm preparing videos based on my understanding. So definitely, because here Akshay Saini explained how it is growing horizontally. Okay, that's a super thing. So in next video, I will rewrite the same code in a different way. The logic is same. Logic is same. We can rewrite with the callback functions and arrow function so that at least code looks complex and easy both the way. Okay. Hopefully you will practice and you will understand this thing. Bye bye. See you in the next video.